You know the sound. It's that satisfying pop when the lid comes off the can, a sound that promises a stack of perfectly curved, impossibly uniform crisps. Pringles are more than just a snack. They're a cultural icon, a staple of road trips, movie nights, and lunchboxes across the globe. You can find that iconic can with its mustachioed mascot, Julius Pringle, just about anywhere on the planet. This isn't just some random accident of marketing. People genuinely love these things. The consistent crunch, the way they fit perfectly on your tongue, and the dizzying array of flavors make them a go-to choice for millions. It's a marvel of food engineering that has stood the test of time, an oddity in a world of crinkled, irregular potato chips. But have you ever stopped to think about where they come from? I mean, really think about it. Before they were neatly stacked in that cardboard tube, they were humble potatoes, buried in the dark, rich soil of a farm. The journey from a muddy field to that perfectly shaped crisp is a long and fascinating one, full of hard work, incredible machinery, and some seriously clever science. It's a story that starts with dedicated farmers, people who understand the land and work tirelessly under the sun and in the dirt. These folks are the unsung heroes of your snack time, and their job is the critical first step in a complex process that most of us take for granted every time we reach for that can. This journey isn't a simple one. It's a testament to human ingenuity and a perfect example of a dirty job that makes modern convenience possible. We're going to pull back the curtain on this entire operation, from the moment a potato is pulled from the earth to the final dusting of sour cream and onion seasoning. We'll look at the massive, specialized machines that do the heavy lifting, the meticulous processes that ensure quality, and the sheer scale of an industry built on the back of the lowly spud. It's a story that connects the pastoral world of agriculture with the high-tech environment of a modern food factory, a bridge between soil and shelf. So, the next time you hear that familiar pop, maybe you'll have a new appreciation for what it took to get that chip into your hand. It's a story of grit, technology, and a whole lot of potatoes. We're about to dig in, literally. We'll follow the potato from its earthy bed, through a series of transformations that would make a magician blush, all the way to its final, crunchy destination. It's a journey that proves that sometimes the most familiar things have the most extraordinary stories behind them. Let's get our hands dirty and see how it's done, from the farm to the crunch. It all starts in vast, sprawling fields, stretching as far as the eye can see. These aren't your grandpa's little garden patches. We're talking about industrial-scale agriculture, where thousands of acres are dedicated to one thing: growing the perfect potatoes for processing. The farmers who run these operations are masters of their craft, but they don't do it alone. When harvest season arrives, they unleash the beasts. I'm talking about potato harvesters, massive multi-ton machines that look like something out of a science fiction movie. These incredible contraptions are designed to do the work of hundreds of people, but faster and more efficiently than you can possibly imagine. They are the titans of the tuber world. These harvesters are engineering marvels. They roll through the fields with a steady, determined purpose, their front ends digging deep into the soil. A series of rotating blades, or shares, carefully lift the rows of potatoes along with a whole lot of dirt, rocks, and vines onto a complex system of conveyor belts. It's a messy, dirty business, exactly the kind I appreciate. The machine is essentially a moving factory, sifting and sorting as it crawls across the landscape. The goal is to gently unearth the potatoes without bruising them, because a bruised spud is a bad spud in the world of chip making. It takes a skilled operator to navigate these machines and manage their many moving parts. What's truly impressive is how these machines adapt to different environments. Potato farms aren't always on perfectly flat land. Some are on rolling hills and uneven terrain. Modern harvesters are built with advanced suspension systems and hydraulic controls that allow them to maintain stability and continue digging with precision, regardless of the incline. They can climb hills and navigate tricky spots that would have been impossible to farm just a few decades ago. This technology means more land can be used for growing, increasing the overall yield and ensuring a steady supply of potatoes for the hungry factories waiting for them. It's a powerful display of mechanical muscle meeting agricultural need. At the end of the day, it's about speed and scale. A single one of these machines can harvest tons of potatoes every hour, a staggering amount that is essential to meet the global demand for snacks like Pringles. The fields are a whirlwind of activity, with these mechanical giants working in tandem to clear acres of land in a fraction of the time it would take with manual labor. This is the front line of food production, where raw power and sophisticated engineering come together to kickstart the journey. The potatoes have been freed from the earth, but their adventure is only just beginning. You might think a potato harvester is just about brute force, but you'd be wrong. These machines are packed with some seriously smart technology. As the potatoes, dirt, and debris travel up the conveyor belts inside the harvester, they enter a high-tech sorting zone. This isn't just a simple shaking screen, it's a sophisticated system of sensors, cameras, and air jets. High-resolution cameras scan every single item on the belt, instantly identifying the potatoes and distinguishing them from rocks, clumps of soil, and other unwanted field debris. It's like having a team of super-fast inspectors riding inside the machine, making split-second decisions. Once an unwanted object is identified, say, a rock that's the same size and shape as a potato, the system springs into action. A targeted blast of compressed air, precisely aimed by the onboard computer, knocks the rock off the conveyor belt and back onto the field. This process happens hundreds of times a minute, ensuring that what continues on is almost pure potato. This automated sorting drastically reduces the amount of waste that gets transported from the field and minimizes the risk of damaging the good potatoes. It's a perfect example of how technology helps make farming more efficient and sustainable, getting more product out of every acre harvested. This technology doesn't just sort out rocks, it also helps in quality control right from the start. Some advanced systems can even detect green or rotten potatoes and remove them from the line. By eliminating defective spuds at the source, farmers ensure that the load they send to the factory is of the highest possible quality. This onboard intelligence saves time and money down the line, as the factory doesn't have to waste resources sorting out bad potatoes that should have never left the field. It's a smart, proactive approach that benefits everyone in the supply chain, from the farmer to the final consumer who expects a perfect chip every time. The data collected by these systems is also incredibly valuable. The harvester's computer can map the field, recording the yield from different areas. This information helps the farmer understand their land better, identifying which parts of the field are more productive and which might need more attention, like different fertilizers or watering patterns in the next growing season. It's a feedback loop of information that leads to better, more precise farming year after year. So, while the job is still dirty, the tools are getting smarter, turning the art of farming into a data-driven science that ensures a bountiful and high-quality harvest. Once the harvester's hopper is full, the clock starts ticking. Potatoes are living organisms, and once they're out of the ground, they start to degrade. To get them from the field to the factory in peak condition, the transfer process has to be fast and efficient. Alongside the harvesters, massive trucks, known as spud trucks, drive through the fields. A long conveyor arm, called a boom, extends from the harvester and gently unloads the freshly dug and sorted potatoes directly into the truck. This process is carefully coordinated to minimize drops and prevent bruising, as every potato is a potential Pringle in the making. The trucks are filled to the brim, ready to haul tons of spuds away. These trucks don't just head straight to the factory. The demand for Pringles is year-round, but the potato harvest only happens during a specific season. This means a huge portion of the harvest needs to be stored, sometimes for months, without spoiling. The solution? Giant, climate-controlled storage facilities. These are not your average warehouses. They are massive insulated buildings where temperature, humidity, and airflow are controlled with scientific precision. The moment the trucks arrive, the potatoes are carefully unloaded and moved into these dark, cool environments, which are kept at a steady temperature, usually around 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The conditions inside these storage facilities are designed to trick the potatoes into thinking they are still hibernating underground. The cold temperatures slow down the potato's natural respiration process and prevent it from sprouting. If the temperature is too warm, the potatoes will start to sprout and convert their starches into sugars. Too much sugar is a big problem for chip making, as it causes the chips to brown too quickly and develop a burnt, bitter taste when fried. The controlled humidity also prevents the potatoes from drying out and losing weight. It's a delicate balancing act to keep millions of tons of potatoes in a state of suspended animation. These facilities are monitored 24/7. Sophisticated sensor networks track conditions throughout the building, and powerful ventilation systems circulate air to prevent hotspots and ensure a uniform environment. It's a high-stakes waiting game. A failure in the climate control system could ruin an entire year's supply of potatoes, costing millions of dollars. This part of the journey is less about dirt and grime and more about quiet, careful preservation. It's the crucial unseen step that guarantees a consistent supply of quality potatoes is always ready to be called up to the big leagues, the Pringles factory. When the factory needs a new batch, the potatoes are called out of their cold slumber. They are transported from the storage facilities and, well, begin the next phase of their transformation. The first stop inside the factory is basically a spa day for spuds. They arrive covered in dirt and obviously need a thorough cleaning. The potatoes are loaded onto a conveyor belt that takes them into a large, rotating drum washer. Inside this machine, they are tumbled and sprayed with powerful jets of water, scrubbing away every last bit of soil and field residue. It's a rough and tumble bath, but it's essential for ensuring that only clean potatoes move on to the next stage. After their wash, the potatoes head straight for the peeler. But this isn't your grandma's hand peeler. We're talking about industrial-scale steam peelers, another marvel of efficiency. The potatoes are fed into a high-pressure steam vessel for just a few seconds. The intense heat from the steam flashes the moisture just under the potato's skin into steam itself. When the pressure is suddenly released, that steam expands rapidly, literally blasting the skin right off the potato. This method is incredibly fast and removes only a very thin layer of skin, which means less waste compared to traditional abrasive or knife peelers. From the steam peeler, the freshly skinned potatoes are given another rinse to wash away any remaining peel fragments. At this point, they look pale and naked, completely different from the earthy tubers that arrived just minutes before. The entire washing and peeling process is a continuous automated flow. Thousands of pounds of potatoes can be processed every hour with minimal human intervention. The efficiency is, honestly, breathtaking. The system is designed to move the potatoes along quickly, as exposure to air can cause them to oxidize and turn brown, which would affect the color of the final product. The water used in this process is often recycled and filtered to conserve resources, and the potato peels that are blasted off don't just go to waste. They are typically collected and repurposed, often sold as animal feed. This commitment to minimizing waste is a key part of modern food manufacturing. Every part of the raw material is used in some way, making the entire operation more sustainable. The potatoes have now been cleaned, peeled, and are ready for their close-up. They are pristine, uniform, and prepared for the critical steps that will turn them from a simple vegetable into the building blocks of an iconic snack. Now here's where the Pringles story takes a sharp turn from what you might expect. Unlike traditional potato chips, which are made from whole slices of potato, Pringles are made from potato flakes. So, the clean peeled potatoes don't go to a slicer. Instead, they are destined to be cooked and mashed. The potatoes are cut into large chunks and then cooked in boiling water until they are perfectly soft. This process is precisely timed to ensure they are cooked all the way through without becoming too mushy. The goal is to get them to the perfect consistency for the next step, which is the key to creating the Pringles texture. After cooking, the soft potato chunks are sent to a ricer or a masher. This isn't just any mashing process. It's designed to create a perfectly smooth, lump-free potato mash. The cooked potatoes are forced through a fine screen, breaking them down into a consistent, fluffy texture. This step is absolutely critical. Any lumps or inconsistencies in the mash would show up in the final chip, ruining that perfectly smooth surface and uniform crunch that Pringles are famous for. Quality control here is intense, with constant checks to ensure the mash meets the exact specifications required by the recipe. Once the smooth mash is ready, it's time to dry it out. The wet potato mash is spread thinly over large, heated drums. As the drums rotate, the heat evaporates the water, leaving behind a very thin sheet of dried potato. This sheet is then carefully scraped off the drums and milled into fine potato flakes. This is the base ingredient for Pringles. By turning the potatoes into flakes, the company can ensure complete consistency in every single chip, no matter what time of year it is or which farm the potatoes came from. It removes the natural variability of the raw potatoes, which is the secret to their uniformity. Before moving on, these potato flakes are inspected rigorously. Samples are taken to labs to check for moisture content, texture, and other key properties. Any batch of flakes that doesn't meet the strict quality standards is rejected. This relentless focus on the quality of the raw ingredients is what allows for such a consistent final product. At this point, the potato has been completely deconstructed and then reconstructed into a new, stable form. It's no longer a simple vegetable, it's a precisely engineered food ingredient, ready to be mixed, shaped, and fried into the snack we all recognize. With a perfect batch of potato flakes ready, the real magic begins. The flakes are moved into giant mixers, where they are combined with a few other key ingredients including cornstarch, rice flour, and water. This mixture is carefully blended to form a smooth, pliable dough. The recipe is precise, and the mixing process is computer-controlled to ensure that every single batch of dough has the exact same consistency and texture. This dough is the canvas upon which the final Pringle will be painted. It's a far cry from the lumpy, wet mash that started this stage, now transformed into a workable material. This potato dough is then fed into a sheeting machine. A set of heavy rollers flattens the dough into a massive paper-thin sheet that is just millimeters thick. This sheet of dough rolls out onto a long conveyor belt looking like a giant, edible blanket. The consistency of this sheet is crucial. If it's too thick, the chips won't be crispy, and if it's too thin, they'll fall apart during frying. Laser sensors constantly measure the thickness of the dough sheet and provide feedback to the rollers, making micro adjustments to keep it absolutely perfect. It's a high-tech ballet of food production. As the thin sheet of dough moves down the line, it passes under a rotary cutter. This cutter is covered in oval-shaped molds that press down and cut out the iconic Pringles shape from the dough sheet. The leftover dough lattice is lifted away and sent back to the beginning of the process to be mixed into a new batch, ensuring there is almost zero waste. The perfectly cut raw potato ovals continue their journey on another conveyor belt. This belt is curved, which causes the soft dough ovals to gently droop and form that famous saddle shape, or hyperbolic paraboloid, for you math whizzes out there. They are then gently nestled into specially designed holders that maintain this curve as they head to the fryer. The shaped chips then take a quick hot bath in bubbling vegetable oil. They are fried for just a few seconds, a precisely timed dip that makes them golden brown and crispy. As they emerge from the fryer, they are still glistening with hot oil. They are then gently tumbled while a fine mist of seasoning is sprayed over them. Whether it's classic original, zesty sour cream and onion, or fiery hot and spicy, the seasoning is applied evenly to coat every chip. A final quality check under the watchful eyes of inspectors ensures any broken or imperfect chips are removed before the perfect ones are sent off to be stacked and canned. Now let's have a straight talk about what makes these things so darn irresistible. It's the trifecta of flavor, salt, fat, and that satisfying crunch. Our brains are hardwired to love these sensations. The salt triggers pleasure centers in our brain, the fat provides a satisfying mouthfeel, and the crunch is a sound that we associate with fresh, desirable food. Pringles, like many other processed snacks, are expertly engineered to hit all these notes perfectly. The food scientists who develop these flavors know exactly what they're doing. They create a sensory experience that keeps you coming back for more, which is why it's so easy to say, "I'll just have one," and end up with an empty can. But here's the part of the job where I have to be the responsible one. That deliciousness comes at a cost. Pringles are high in both sodium and fat. A single serving contains a significant chunk of your recommended daily intake for both. While an occasional snack won't hurt you, making it a daily habit can contribute to health problems down the road. Too much salt is linked to high blood pressure, and a diet high in certain fats can lead to weight gain and other health issues. It's the classic trade-off of modern convenience foods. They taste great and are easy to eat, but they aren't exactly health food. This isn't about demonizing a snack. I'm the last person to tell you not to enjoy the fruits of someone else's hard labor. It's about being an informed consumer. Understanding what you're eating is just as important as enjoying it. Knowing that Pringles are a high-sodium, high-fat treat allows you to make a conscious choice. You can enjoy them as part of a balanced diet, savoring them for what they are, an indulgence. It's about moderation. Think of it like this. You wouldn't eat cake for every meal, and the same logic applies here. Enjoy the pop, the crunch, and the flavor, but be mindful of how often you do it. So the next time you pop open a can, take a look at the nutrition label. It's part of the story too. It tells you what's fueling that great taste. Being aware of it doesn't have to ruin the fun, it just makes you a smarter snacker. You can appreciate the incredible journey from the farm to the factory, respect the work that went into it, and still make a healthy choice for yourself. It's all about balance. A little bit of what you fancy does you good, as the old saying goes. Just remember that a little bit is the key phrase here. So there you have it, the incredible, complex, and surprisingly dirty journey of a Pringle. It starts with a farmer wrestling a multi-ton beast of a machine through a muddy field to pull a humble potato from the ground. It travels through high-tech storage lockers, gets a spa treatment in a factory, and is completely deconstructed and rebuilt by scientists and engineers. It's a process that involves brute force, delicate precision, and a whole lot of smart technology. It's a perfect illustration of how much work, ingenuity, and grit goes into producing something we so often take for granted. This story isn't just about Pringles. It's a window into the world of modern food production. We live in an age of incredible convenience, where a world of flavors is available at our fingertips, neatly packaged and ready to eat. But behind every one of those products is a chain of people and processes, of dirty jobs and brilliant minds, all working together to make it happen. From the agricultural workers in the fields to the engineers on the factory floor and the truck drivers in between, it's a massive, coordinated effort. It's a system that feeds billions of people every single day. It's easy to become disconnected from where our food comes from. We walk into a supermarket and see finished products on the shelves, with little thought to the journey they took to get there. But when you pull back the curtain, you find fascinating stories of innovation and hard work. You find a deeper appreciation for the simple things, like the crunch of a chip. You realize that even the most processed food item has its roots in the earth, and its creation is a testament to human creativity and our ability to transform the raw materials of our planet in extraordinary ways. So, the next time you share a can of Pringles with friends, maybe you'll have a new story to tell. A story about giant harvesters, steam peelers, and dough sheets as far as the eye can see. It's a reminder that even in our modern, sanitized world, everything starts somewhere. And that somewhere is often a place of dirt, sweat, and good old-fashioned hard work. I, for one, think that's something worth celebrating. So, here's a tip of the hat to the farmers, the factory workers, and the engineers. Thanks for the chips. They're a marvel.